Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids and this is my review of the Cooler ebook reader from Cool Readers. Now before I kick off this review, I'd just like to mention that instead of using my normal camcorder, I'm using a Sanyo Xacti VPC-FH1 to do this recording. Now back onto the review at hand. As I said, this is the Cooler ebook reader. Let's take a look at what you get inside the package. Now, as well as the ebook reader itself, you get a USB cable, and this is used for both charging the device via a USB socket and also for transferring content over to the ebook reader. Now this particular one also handles audio, and on the device there's a 2.5mm jack. They do include a 2.5mm to 3.5mm converter. Now, as well as the reader itself, you also get a quick start guide. Now it's pretty self-explanatory how to use the device, but this does talk you through the various controls and how to get things up and running. Now this looks like, I'm sure a lot of you will agree with this sort of click wheel type control down here, it looks like a big iPod, but it's far from an iPod. It is actually an electronic book reader. It also looks as though it's actually switched on at the moment, but it isn't, because this technology only uses battery power when it's changing the page. And the way I understand it, the e-ink technology is little tiny balls inside the device that rotate to either switch them onto black, one of the grey scales, or to the off state. So it's only when those balls are rotating that the device is using any power. Now this particular one is a nice attractive package. It's a 6-inch e-ink display and it handles 8 levels of grayscale. It works with Mac or PC, and inside the unit, if I just go round to the back here, under this little cover here is a 1000 mAh battery, which is good for 8000 page turns. It's got 128 megabytes of built-in memory, and on the top of the device you can expand that further with an SD card, and it supports up to a 4GB SD card in that top slot, so plenty of room for storing your books. Also on the top of the device we've got that power on off switch. On the right hand side of the device we've got a plus and minus rocker button here, and this is for zooming in and out of the text on pages. Around the bottom of the device there's that earphone jack and also the USB connection. And then along this side of the device we've got 4 different buttons here. We've got a multimedia button, which is used for MP3 playback. We've got a portrait landscape button so that you can switch the orientation of the display. We've got a menu button and also a library setting button. So very easy to use. This front control is used for navigating around the pages, and you've got a center click button here as well for making your selections. So let's turn the device on, and while that's powering on I'll just tell you that this actually supports various formats. You can put PDF, EPUB, FB2, RTF, text, HTML, PRC, JPEG and MP3 files onto the unit, and it really does offer up a viable alternative to the likes of the Amazon Kindle and Sony range. So this is actually loading the reader software into the device. It takes a little bit of time, and I suppose that's one of the only complaints with this, is that it does seem to take quite a while to perform any of the functions. But once it is loaded up, we're presented here with an organisation of 5 different folders in which you can store different types of documents. Also on that display, if I give you a close-up, we've got how many pages on the current view, so we've just got 1 page of choices at the moment. And we've also got a battery indicator in the lower left hand corner. So for this review, let's scroll down and we're going to classic ebooks. We push that center button to go into that folder, and here this little display down the bottom right's changed to show that I've actually got 6 pages of books to choose from. So for this example I'm just going to choose that first one, which is one of the included books with the reader, and that's Pride and Prejudice. And once that's loaded, I'm presented with the text for the various pages that I'm on, and it's actually located where I got up to last time, so it's actually remembered the bookmark for this particular page, so I can continue reading where I left off. If I find the text too big or small, then I can use the plus minus buttons on the side of the device to either go up or down in size. I can also push the bottom left hand button on this side of the device, and this brings up an on-screen menu, and from here I can either go back, choose a page, I can go right back to the start of the book, table of contents. I've also got various font options, or I can go all the way down and exit the menu back to reading the book in hand. This particular reader is available in a variety of colours. You've got red, blue, black, silver, and the violet colour we're looking at here. It's very well made, it's got a good build quality to it. The only thing I would say as a negative point is it does feel a little bit plasticky. The contrast is good as well, but this background colour is slightly off-white. Again, I would have liked to have seen this being a bit whiter. Certainly on the Amazon Kindle it does seem to be a whiter background colour, so maybe that's something that Cooler can work on for future versions. It's going to cost you £189 in the UK or $245 in the US. This has been my review of the Cooler ebook reader from Cool Readers. You can pick up full details on coolreaders.co.uk. Thanks very much for listening. Come back soon and check out more reviews on the Geekanoids channel. This video review is sponsored by Academy Class, the UK's premier creative IT training centre, authorised by Adobe, Apple and Autodesk.